And it now tells us. Okay. Do you guys, can you see? Am I on the screen? Okay. I do the spotlight thing, but sometimes it doesn't show it to me. But anyways, all right. So if you are on tonight and you are here to hear more information about becoming a brand ambassador with It Works, and maybe it is with the person who invited you here, you are in the right spot. Tonight, Bree, Lisa, and I are going to be sharing just a little bit of our story and how we found this and why we said yes to this and what it has done for us, but we're also going to share what we do as brand ambassadors, how you're able to make income and have multiple paydays. We are going to address fears that everybody has and objections or things that we think would stop us from finding success that we have now found with being in this business for years that they don't. And then just invite you to ask your questions that you may have if we haven't reached them and see if it's a good fit for you. So that is why we are here tonight. So my name is Sarah O'Connell, and we are just going to jump right in, and Lisa is going to share her story and just how she found It Works, where she heard from it, and why she said yes to this opportunity and what it has done for her. So go ahead, Lisa.
Can you hear me?
Yep, okay. We can hear you.
Oh, guys, sorry, I was like, my little face wasn't popping up, so I'm like, uh-oh, something's wrong, but we're good. So my name's Lisa Alonzo. I've been with this business for 7 years, which is crazy because that's the same amount of time that I did hair. And obviously that's what I did before this. So the fact that I'm literally about to pass that, like my hair anniversary, this business is about to pass that is just crazy because this was only going to be a few month gig for me. When I was presented this opportunity, I was already obsessed with products. I wanted all of them. The only thing was that I could not afford them because I was on maternity leave. And like I said, I did hair and there's no such thing as PTO. Like if you're not behind the salon chair, you're not making money. So I wanted everything, but I couldn't afford it. So I remember the girl telling me you should do this with me. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And she was like, even if you just make enough to get your products for free. And I was like, yeah, but I don't even think that I could do that. It's not going to happen. I don't ever really post on social media except for maybe 3 times a month. And it's usually just pictures of my kids. I'm just not a salesperson. I've never worked in sales a day in my life. I've never even worked in retail. This is just not something that I could do. And so it took her 2 months and I still kept trying our wraps. I was obsessed with the wraps. I had 2 kids, 3 and under, and I was just obsessed with the wraps. So I kept trying the wraps. We traded haircuts for wraps, which was great for me because like I said, I was on maternity leave. And I remember her just chirping in my ear, little bits. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. I just can't do that. That's amazing that it's working for you. But I just cannot do that. And then I remember one night she posted about how her husband got to quit his night job. So he was working 2 jobs. She was a stay-at-home mom. He worked 2 jobs to be able to allow her to stay home with her kids. And he was able to quit delivering pizzas at night after he got off of his full-time job. And I was just like, holy hell. And I'll never forget, Olivia, my daughter, was sick. And we were up and it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I was breastfeeding her and she didn't feel good. I was exhausted. And I was just thinking I would have to go to work tomorrow in a few hours and I would have to leave her sick and I would have to pump breast milk in the lunchroom and it would be literal hell for me. That was my biggest fear. And that post that she posted just kept chirping in my ear. And I was like, you know what? Right now, at this moment, I am more scared of having to go back to work and that being my life because that was my life with my son. After we had our son, me and my husband took opposite schedules so one of us could be home with him all the time. So me and him barely saw each other, which was also literal hell. And I missed so much stuff with Anthony because I worked in the evening. I would go in at 2 p.m. and I wouldn't get out till 10. And I missed all the things. I missed him learning how to ride a bike for the first time. So all that just came flooding back. And at that moment, I was more scared of having to go through that a second time around than I was of trying something new. And I remember just thinking, okay, even if I can just do this for a few months to get to the point where I'm done breastfeeding, that would be so worth it. And so I joined. And I remember feeling sick to my stomach after I did it. And I was like, what the hell did I just do? Because I was kind of groggy feeding her, those 3 a.m. feedings where you're there, but you're not really there. And then I remember I literally woke up after I clicked some in. I was like, what the hell did I just do? that was our grocery money. Like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to make that back. Like, instant fear, which I feel like is totally normal. But I was scared, and I was like, you know what? I spent $100. Like, I have to at least make that money back because that's our grocery money. And 7 years later, I'm here. We've earned thousands of dollars in bonuses. I was able to pay off my student loans, which I should be still paying to date. I was able to pay off all of our medical bills. I was able to pay off all of our credit card debt. We just paid off my dream vehicle 2 years in advance. And I never had to go back to work. Like, that's the one thing that I didn't even think was possible. And that's not even what I joined for. I loved doing hair until I didn't, until it was a one thing keeping me away from where I truly wanted to be. And it was just, I want to say it was God, because there were, hundreds of nights that I prayed for something. I didn't know what I was praying for. I just knew that I was miserable. And I know a lot of people who love what they do. I did too, but I was not about that life. I was not about having to choose over making an income and providing for my family and missing every single opportunity or every single milestone. Like, I just was not about that. I'm still not. But yeah, so that's been the last 7 years. I've been home for 7 years. I never had to clock back in. I literally never went back to work. Like, my maternity leave was never ending. We're still going, and my daughter's already 9, which is crazy. But yeah, it's crazy. It's been hands down one of the best decisions I've ever made while I was half asleep.
That's so you didn't get to overthink it. That's the thing.
That's exactly what it was. If I would have been of sane mind, I would have been like, no. Like, you already told yourself.
Right?
Like,
I swear, there's like this little thing that does that for us. And let's be honest, she's still your baby, even though she's 9. Wait, yeah, right?
She just turned 9.
Just turned 9, yeah.
2 weeks ago, which is, I literally can't even believe it, because she was 1 when I started this business, but she doesn't know of a life other than mom's home. Mom works from her phone. Sometimes she's in her office. Sometimes we're at the park and she's on her phone. But I've never missed a moment. Not a first bike ride, not nothing.
Yeah, I love that. And you will hear all 3 of our stories are different. And you're also going to find, and something that I feel like everybody can relate to, is we had a lot of unknowns, but we all knew one thing, and it was what we wanted. And we were to a point somewhere in your life where you're like, I'm going for that. Like, that's what's happening. What I'm doing hasn't gotten it for me yet. And so I got to change things up and do something different. So Bree, go ahead and share about your story and how you found it works and what made you say yes and what it's done for you.
Hey, you guys. I'm Bree Shohara. I've been here for a little over 6 years, which is crazy. Like, when you guys are saying that, like, yeah, I have been doing this longer than therapy now, which is just insane. So when I found this business, I was working full-time as a marriage and family therapist. It was like full-time plus. I was working like 60-hour weeks. I was still finishing up my master's degree. I was planning a wedding. Like, my life was insane. And my husband, he's in law enforcement. So we were working like opposite hours, like shifts passing in the night. And he has 3 kids from previous relationship. And we just we had so many things moving in so many different directions. We just all of a sudden looked up like a year into our relationship and we were like, we can't pay the dang bills. Like, I don't understand how this happened, because we both have great jobs. Like, we both had our dream jobs. We're working like insane hours and never seeing each other. And just like things just are not coming together at the end of the month. And it just started kind of snowballing into like such a stressful place that I never saw myself like as somebody who did all the right things and like went to school and got all the degrees and got my dream job and like did everything in the right order. It just wasn't working. And so we were super stressed out, like the money fights and the late nights and the panic attacks and all the things. And I just I truly you never would have known by looking at us that anything was wrong, but behind closed doors, I was constantly on my knees, just asking for something. Like, I didn't know what I was asking for. I didn't have time for another job. I didn't even really know what this sort of thing was. It just nothing was on my radar other than I need an answer. And it was right around that time that a kind of a new friend of mine had just started this business. And I mean, you guys, she didn't know. She said all the wrong things to me, but like all the things that we would never say to you guys, because they're half truths or zero truths. But she was saying you can do this from home. And there also was a huge bonus on the line at that time. And I was like, dude, yeah, I want that. And I wasn't a person who thought about it, which if you know me at all is like super weird for me. And that is why I just know that it was God. That's just hands down, like ask and you shall receive. You just have to you have to be willing to receive the answer, because it's not always going to come wrapped up in the pretty bow that you're imagining it is. It's going to come the way it's supposed to come. And every once in a while, something happens where you just feel so drawn to like, I don't understand it, but I'm excited about this. And that's exactly what this was, because it's not my personality. I had like 200 Facebook friends. I didn't even know what Instagram was. Like, it was bad. Like I didn't have skills. Like I had nothing, but I was like, yes, I saw what I heard. I saw hope for our family. And that's really all I could see. I couldn't really see anything further than that. And I thought if I can make $300 to just make things come together at the end of the month without having to leave my family more than I already am, that's going to be a win for us. And that's really like, I wasn't thinking long-term. I wasn't thinking like, I just was like, I'm just going to see, like, worst case scenario, I'm off the $99. And so I joined like that same day. And I was like, okay, yeah, same as Lysa, like, I just spent our utility money, so let's go figure it out. And truly, you guys, like, made my money back in 3 days, met my goal of $300 in a couple of weeks. And that's where my wheels kind of started turning, where I was like, you know, I'm really not making very much money as a therapist. And, you know, they really do sort of ask a lot of me. And I am exhausted and I am having panic attacks. And it is hard on my family and all these things. And in the meantime, I was growing my business. And within 8 months, I was able to replace that full-time income as a therapist. And things just kind of grew from there. We have earned countless bonuses and we've been able to pay off several degrees of student debt. And we're just kind of getting started. Since then, we've added another kiddo to the mix. So we have 4 total, and I have never missed a day of his life. And that's nothing that I ever even dreamed about. But again, it's just that God knew my heart before Ryu even existed. He knew that I was going to want to be here for every second. And so many blessings. And I just can't say enough about the people that I've met. And I always say, if I never made another dollar, like the person that I've become because I did this is hands down, I would never leave still. So.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so funny, you know, you'll hear things that we have similar, and then you're going to hear things that are just completely different from one another. And that's why we share our stories, because I think too, at the end of the day, it's like things don't have to be wrong for you to want more, or things don't have to all be right for you to change things up and want more, right? It doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, we were wanting certain things that we weren't getting from what we were doing. And so we changed things up. And what's crazy is that we ended up getting a lot more than what we ever asked for or what we ever even started for. And so same thing, like I've been in this business now. I just celebrated 9 years, which is absolutely crazy. And I shared in the chat too when Lysa was talking, but that was something even for myself. Like I was just like these girls. I'd never done anything like this. I did have Facebook, but I did not post on Facebook. Like I think it was my last post was probably even before starting this business was like 6 months. And then from there it was like a year, or somebody had started it like when I was in college or something, and I never used it. And so what's funny is that I saw a friend posting on Facebook about this and about some of the products. And I just knew when she was using some of the products, she was already talking about them. And so when I went and asked about them and she shared her website, I'm like, well, there's already products that I would love to use. And I was a brand new mom. So I was wanting to just take care of myself. Like I knew if I'm going to be taking care of this little one and I'm providing, you know, all the things for him, like I need to take care of me. And so I started for a few of the products. And when I went to go order those, she was like, hey, have you ever thought about wanting to make extra income and being able to do it from home? Like, we can do it together. And at first, my first answer was like, no. I mean, yes, I want to make extra income from home, but I am not doing that. But what is so crazy is that same thing. Like, if this is not a God wink, I don't know what is. But right before that, I had returned back to work full time. And I have a job that I absolutely loved. I was working as a nurse on labor and delivery. I was a charge nurse. I had taken every opportunity to grow my career that there absolutely was. And when I was home on maternity leave, it was just crazy. But I was just like, my whole world, my eyes opened up because I had time. And that is not something I've ever had. I've worked since I've been 14. And so I've never, ever had more than 10 days off. No joke. Since I've been 14. So all of a sudden I had 3 months. And I'm like, wow, like I am a brand new mom, but I feel rested. I'm like, I'm not stressed. I actually get dinner with my family. All these things that I like didn't even know I was missing, right? Because I still loved what I was doing, but I thought like this is the normal. And so when she asked me that, I had already, when I'd gone back to work, had vowed not to pick up extra shifts. So if you are in the healthcare business, you know everything is shorthanded. You can pick up extra shifts when you have extra things or things pop up. But at the end of the day, you're away from home. You're doing the same thing. You're getting burnt out. You're working short staff. Like you can only do that for so long. And I took full advantage of that. But I remember telling my husband, I'm like, you know what? I am no longer picking up extra shifts. So unfortunately, like we either say no to the extras that we've been able to say yes to, or we figure something else out. And then no joke, a month into going back to work, this kind of fell into my lap. So I was like, Bree, I didn't think much about it. And I just jumped right in. It was $99. Honestly, in my mind, I'm like, I probably go spend that at Target and I know I'm never going to see it again. So I'm going to try this. And my mindset was like, Sarah, just do what you can to break even. And then if you can make an extra $500, that's amazing. Like, that's literally what I thought. And I made well over $500 in my first month. And then like Bree said, there were bonuses being offered. There's bonuses that are always being offered within our company. I didn't start for that, but I found very quickly once starting this, there were so many others like myself that wanted to bring in extra income with the freedom to do it from home. So before I knew it, I had 3 months in, I had promoted multiple times and got a bonus. And from there, I kind of just was like, this business can do so much for us. And so my goals started growing and I'm like, I am going to pay off my student loans. I'm going to be able to actually save for a home and pay for things at the same time while still paying for life that's happening right around us. And so I worked this business in the nooks and crannies of my day, and I worked full time all the way up to the top rank of the company. And it has done so much for us, not just financially, but like the girls were saying, just what it does for you as a person, the things you learn, your faith grows, your belief grows, your vision grows for your family. You just can't fit the person that starts back into that little box where it is. And so, it just allowed me both things. Like I no longer have to choose this or that. I felt like I was always choosing this or that. Which one is most important? Instead, I can say, I want both, or I want all three, or whatever it is. So, so many times I think, even when I hear like somebody has an amazing job, right? They might have the finances, but they have lost all flexibility and all freedom of time. And then you have people who go for the freedom of time and they come home, but then they lose the finances. This is so neat because it offers you both right where you're at. And so it changed everything for us. So that's a little bit about my story. And we're just going to share what we do. So you guys, it is not complicated. And we love to keep it so simple. And we still keep it so simple even after being in for as many years as we have. So just like you share your favorite recipe or your favorite place to vacation, or maybe one of your favorite sales or whatever it is, you guys, that is what we do in this business. But we get 40 plus products that we get to share with clean ingredients. They're plant-based ingredients. And I can promise you, now that I've been in as long as I have, they are products that people are looking for, that people are wanting, and that change people's lives. And so they are anywhere from beauty products, which you maybe, if you've seen somebody posting about it, and that's why you're here tonight, you may have seen they have fat burning coffee. Like, who doesn't love coffee? And if you don't love coffee, they have fat burning skinny tea. Like, they just have so many different things. And then there's skincare. There's just like things for you to be able to pamper yourself, things to help with less stress, better energy, all the things that we want to be able to tackle our day. And then on top of that, you guys, you also get the ability to be able to offer this opportunity for those that are wanting it. And I promise you that when I started, I had no clue who was going to be a customer of mine or who was going to end up joining my team, but they come. Like, you share, and I promise you they will come. And the cool thing is that you do not have to carry a ton of inventory. That was something that was so big for me when I was getting started. I'm like, what does this look like? Because I do not have an office space. I don't have all these things, and they keep it so simple. And so you get whatever you decide to order, but you get a website that people order from, and then everything gets shipped to them, which also allows you to build your business across the world. And so there's absolutely zero limits on that. And then on top of that, you get all the training and everything, not only from us, but also in your back office. So you get that website, and then you get to also share your discount. And so that's something I love to share, because I think sometimes, yes, you get to share a discount with the customer program, but here we actually get to share our actual discount as a distributor with our customers. And I think we are like one of the only companies that truly gives our discount to our customers. And then off of that, you guys, you get paid. You can get paid as much as you want to get paid. You are paid off of your efforts, but you are able to get paid in multiple ways. So you can get paid daily, weekly, monthly, and then there's bonuses as well, which Bree will go into, but that is literally what we do. We fit it into the nooks and crannies of our day. We, commit to learning just new stuff and applying it. And that is literally how we've created the stories that we just shared with you. So Lysa is going to address like some objections and common fears that we have. Not all, but just some of them, because we want you to know, yes, we had fears when we started, but clearly, as you've heard from us, like those things didn't stop us. And even just growing and working through them has completely changed us.
Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of the fears that I get told on a daily basis, but they're also the same exact fears that I had when I first started. So the number one thing being no experience. And this is what I used to tell her all the time. Like, I've never worked in sales. I never sold a single thing a day in my life. Like, how can I do this? But in all honesty, and that was actually my husband, he was the one that told me. He was like, you're number one in sales at the salon. And I'm like, yeah, but that's different. Like, it's shampoo and conditioner and hair mask and oil. Like, I know about that stuff, and I know why they need these things. So their hair can obviously be healthier and longer and prettier and all the things. And he's like, this is the same thing. Like, you're already obsessed with those wraps. You can easily tell people exactly why. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. Like, I get that. And that does make sense, but like, no. But that's literally what it is. Even 7 years in, I've never felt like I've sold a single thing a day in this business. And that's because no one can sit here and tell me that the wraps don't work, because I literally have the before and afters to prove it. No one can tell me that our skincare doesn't work, because I just turned 34 and my skin has never looked better. No one can tell me that our hair, skin, and nails doesn't work, because my hair is long as can be and it's never been this long ever. So it's just the belief. Like, once you try our products, no one can tell you that they don't work, because you will feel it and people will see it, and that's what makes them purchase. It's not that, they want to lose weight or they want to be healthy, because everyone wants to feel better, right? Everyone wants to make healthier choices. But when they see someone that they know and trust, and not even then, because I want to say over the last 6 years, my customers have been complete strangers from social media. So it's not like they know me to be able to trust me like on a personal level, but results don't lie. You know what I mean? So doesn't matter if you've never sold a single thing in your life, these products sell themselves, and they are so easy to switch out. Most of us drink coffee, right? Most of us use skincare already. The only difference is now you get to get paid for it, which, yes, please sign me up, because we're already sharing everything as it is. And then another thing was, oh, I already said that, not good at sales, which I feel like that's another thing that I hear on a day-to-day basis. One thing is people saying like, well, I'm not passionate about sales. Well, I'm not passionate about sales either. Like, I don't do this because I'm so obsessed with sales. I do this because I'm so obsessed with those 2 kids that are sitting on the other side of this door. Like, that's my driving force. It's not that I love to sell stuff. It's that I love the life that this business brings me. That's what it is. That's where my love comes from. And the rest kind of just falls into place. You don't have to love sales. I didn't love blowouts, but I did it because it paid the bills. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was like something that I realized very early on, is that you don't have to be good at sales. You don't even have to love sales. Like, it'll all just fall together, I promise you. And another thing is no time. That was my thing. I had 2 kids, 3 and under. I was breastfeeding. I still did hair out of my kitchen because bills got to get paid, and I had 0 time. I had no time. My husband was always taking as many extra shifts as he could possibly do because of bills, and I wasn't earning my full income like I was when I was in the salon. So he was gone. I was like single mom in it for the most part because he was working so much. So adding that on top of this, I was just like, I don't have the time. And in all actuality, I worked this business very part-time all the way up until it replaced not only my income, but my husband's as well. You don't have to have, 10 hours in the day to be able to dedicate this business. If you can go to your phone and you can go to your screen time and you spend more than 30 minutes on Netflix, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it may be, you have more than enough time to make a substantial income from this business. That's what you have us for. And that was my thing too. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. You don't have to know what to do. We know what to do. But between the 3 of us alone, we got years on years on years on years of experience that literally this is what we do now. We literally show people exactly what we did to get us to where we're at, to be able to get us to where, we don't have to go to work. Or if you want to go to work, maybe go part-time, whatever floats your boat, whatever it is that you want to do, it gives you options. And that was one thing that I was just like, even though I love doing hair, the options of being able to work from wherever I wanted, it just would have never existed. I can't cut hair. I can't do a full foil at my daughter's baseball practice. Like, that's just impossible. So it doesn't matter if you don't have the time. You don't need a lot of time. I feel like people don't realize how 30 minutes, even if it's 15, 15, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, can truly build you a substantial income in this business, which is one thing that I love. And yeah, another thing too is people are like, well, what if I don't want to quit my job? You don't have to. Like, that's not a stipulation. In order to join this business, you have to want to quit your job. Like, that's not it. We have girls on our team who make a substantial amount of money. They actually make more money doing this than they do their full-time job, but they love their full-time job, which is amazing. I just wasn't about that life. Like, no, that was not for me. But if that's for you, that's amazing. There's tons of other people who that's exactly what they do. And I don't know about you, but like an extra $500, I don't care if you love your job or you hate your job, you will find something to do with that money. You will put it in savings. You will put it in a college fund, like whatever it may be. Extra money is something that anybody can use. I don't care what they say. I don't care how much money they make. I don't care if they are obsessed with their job. You will find something to do with an extra $500. Like, let's just be real.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
So true. So true. Okay. So you guys, it's super, super easy to get started. You just get back with whoever invited you here. It's $99 to get started. And the thing that I love about this and everything that comes after is that the company, along with us, teaches you to always run your business in the green. So anytime, like, it's a one-time $99 fee, and you get with that all the tools you need to make a profit right away. So you're going to get 7 digital samples of our fat burning coffee, which I love. So you can either use those to get started on the products in the next couple of days and share that with the people who are watching you, or you can turn around and actually sell those to make your investment back and already be in the profit before you've even done anything else. And I just love that so much. And then you're also going to get, it also builds your app and your website for you. So everything will be up and running as soon as you hit submit, and we can just get started. We have a 10-day training program that will walk you right through, and you can do that at your own pace. So if you're like, girl, I want to go, then we'll just rock through it in the next couple of days. Some people need to spread it out and they want to take it at their own pace. That's the cool thing, is that you get to decide that. And then when you get started this month, you actually are going to be eligible for a total of $25,000 in bonuses over the next 4 months. And the thing that I love about the bonuses is that it doesn't require anything extra of you than you're already doing to build your business. It's literally just reach these milestones in your business that you were already going for anyway. And then you get these huge bonuses on top of your daily sample cash and your weekly bonuses and your monthly commission checks. Like, it is just the coolest setup. And it's set up that way, you guys, so that you can change your life, so that you can pay off debt, or you can experience the sort of freedom that, none of us knew existed before this, but we've all since turned it into a lifestyle. And it's just so, so much fun. So we want you here. We are ready for you. And whenever you're ready, or as soon as you're done watching this, get back with whoever invited you, ask any additional questions you have, but mostly just jump in, because the truth of it is that you can just sit and think about it and ask all the questions, but most of the questions answer themselves once you're in. And the cool thing is about starting something like this in the summer is that your year is going to end differently than how it started. Like, the work that you put in now over the next couple months, it's going to change your Christmas. It's going to change your 2022. It's thinking ahead to make the future just a little bit different than the past. So we are so excited to welcome you. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you guys soon.
Good night, you guys.